sure that its audio input is actually coming from the AudioShare hub. And I'm just going to go ahead and use output 1 in this particular case to make sure that that's the port that will be used. So basically this will take all the audio from the AudioShare wall station that's connected to the AudioShare controller physically with RCA cables, and that's where the audio will come from. Now that we've completed that, we've basically got everything working correctly. We should be able to go back to System Design now and make sure that the automatic intercom is turned on to auto, which it is, and then we can just go into the Control4 Intercom Zones and enter which rooms we want intercom to go into. And that can be done by going to the Actions tab and saying List Room IDs, then click on Lua, and it will tell us every single room and its room ID. So we want the intercom to go into rooms, the theater room, which is 8, into 9, which is the living room, and into the dining room, which is 12. So 8, 9, and 12. So we'll go back to the Properties tab, and in this Control Intercom Zones, we'll enter 8, 9, 12. And we'll set that. And now what that will do is it will make sure that when intercom paging turns on in an AudioShare wall station, it will turn on rooms 8, 9, and 12 on the Control4 side as well. This digital audio delay is used because Control4's audio, if it's going through a controller over Ethernet, it will have an inherent 3 to 4 second delay on it. And because the driver either turns the intercom on or turns it off in those rooms immediately when you push all call on an AudioShare wall station or end, we want to make sure that the audio is done playing in the Control4 zones before it actually shuts off. So this digital audio delay, which is set to 4 by default, will make sure that when an end is pushed on an AudioShare wall station after an intercom page, it will make sure that that delay occurs before it shuts off the Control4 zones, to make sure that the intercom page actually ends and then it completes. This dummy room is a field that can be used if you're having problems with the digital media restoring after the intercom page interrupts in a room. And what I mean by that is, let's say that I was listening to music in the dining room and it was digital music coming from Control4. And let's say that the intercom page came in. Well, we're going to interrupt the music playing in the dining room with the intercom page, and as soon as the intercom page completes, we want music to come back in the dining room. Well, the problem is with Control4 when you're playing digital media is that it assumes that if you disconnect the music playing in a room and there's no other rooms listening to that music, it will actually shut it off. And so what we do to kind of trick Control4 is we send the music to a dummy room that doesn't exist, and we basically have it play music there until we want to bring it back to the rooms that we've done the intercom interrupt for. So if you want to use the dummy room, the easiest thing to do is create a room within your Control4 project. In fact, I like to just call it dummy room so I know exactly what it is for. I can then click on that room. I can go to Navigator and I can click Hide Room in Location menu. That way we don't ever see this room, but at least it's a room that exists. And now we can go back to the AudioShare Hub driver, go to the Actions tab, we can click the List Room IDs, and then go back to Lua, and you'll notice that the dummy room is now under room ID 21. So I can go back to the AudioShare's properties for the dummy room and actually enter 21 in for its room ID. So anytime an intercom interrupt comes in, it will use dummy room 21 to temporarily store the digital audio session, and then as soon as intercom paging is complete, it will restore that session back from the dummy room. Anyway, the last thing to do here, just for simplicity purposes, is to update the time. This is a good field to update in your driver. This will keep the clock on the AudioShare wall stations in sync with the Control4 time. So let's say that every hour you just want that to synchronize. Anyway, so now that we've completed this, the driver is now set up to be able to do intercom paging into the Control4 system. Now, if you happen to have an audio switch instead of a, if you want to run your intercom directly into an audio switch and not the controller, basically in the connections, make sure that you've set the input on that switch to connect to the AudioShare output. That's basically the only thing you have to do. We have seen some instances where people want to run intercom into multiple switches, in which case the best way to do that is to cascade the switches together instead of trying to run, don't try to split the audio out of the AudioShare wall station into like a Y and then feed two switches, because Control4 does not know. Control4 relies on knowing which input is connected to what device, and so you got to be careful to make sure that it knows where the input is that it needs to get the intercom page from AudioShare coming in. So just be kind of sensitive to that. But if you are using a direct audio switch in Control4, you can probably get away with turning this digital audio delay off. You can set that to 0, and that will make sure that when you push end on the AudioShare wall station, that it actually shuts off the intercom page in the Control4 zones immediately. So I think we've covered everything we need to cover on the intercom page. I guess the other thing that you can be aware of is if you go to the Programming tab and you click on the AudioShare Hub, if you scroll down on the AudioShare Hub Events window, you'll notice at the bottom here there's a option for Intercom Start and Intercom End. These are events that fire in the AudioShare driver whenever an all-call page is detected. If it starts, it'll throw the intercom start, and if you push end, it will throw the intercom end event for the intercom. So if you want to, you can override the automatic capabilities of the intercom that we've pre-programmed into the driver itself and have it function the way you want it to function. Or I think these events actually fire regardless of whether that property here in automatic intercom, whether this automatic intercom property is set to auto or set to off. Either way, those events will fire. So you can use those to do whatever custom programming you would like. So anyway, that is the way that we configure the AudioShare driver to handle intercom input into Control4.